Ja, hallo liebe Freunde, es ist spät, die Gamescom neigt sich am zweiten Tag dem Ende zu und ich muss sagen, ich wurde jetzt hier nochmal richtig abgeholt, ja. Ihr seht es schon, The Last Oricru. Ich habe was völlig anderes erwartet, ich bin total überrascht. Wir haben hier Pavel Strnad, der Entwickler. You are the developer, you're the chief lead designer?
Yeah, I'm the game designer of the whole game.
You're the game director actually.
Yes.
So, wir haben hier den Regisseur des Spieles. Ich bin ganz arg, ich habe gerade gespielt mit ihm, es hat furchtbar viel Spaß gemacht, weil man kann das Spiel auch im Koop spielen, was für so ein Spiel einfach unglaublich ist, nicht? Und wir lassen jetzt mal Pavel ein bisschen erzählen. Natürlich macht er das auf Englisch und ich hoffe, ihr findet genauso viel Spaß an diesem Spiel, was am 13. Oktober 2022 da sein wird, nicht? Es wird auf all den Sachen sein, PS5, Xbox, PC, wird es erscheinen. Steam, it will be on Steam?
Yes.
Wonderful. So, ihr könnt es auch auf Steam runterladen, aber jetzt lassen wir Pavel reden. Pavel, what brought you to this story?
I always want to make a story that's a little bit reflect our current situation. So, I think when we get born, we are kind of a little bit like infected by fairy tales, which try to tell us that they are ultimate good and ultimate evil, and the good prince come in on white horse and he defeat the evil that is evil for everybody, and then he get married with the princess. And I think it's not really practical for your life, because in the life you think I'm stupid and he think you are stupid. So it's kind of really on the viewpoint, and two people can have rights and it can be not the same true.
Wonderful. It's the first time that I have a take in the gaming on ambivalence, where you have actually all the character, you have in front your character, because usually game narratives, as you said, go to the bad and the good guy, good against bad. But here in this game, everybody is the same actually, it's good and bad.
Yeah, right? It's the race, there are two main races trying to survive, and they have their own viewpoint and their motivation, and you can understand if you want their survival and what they're doing, it makes sense. There is actually somebody else third hidden that kind of make them to make a war, and he's like profiting from both sides.
Tell us the story. What's the story? We start with the character.
Okay, so there is a story that you wake up in the planet that you don't know. It's look medieval, but it's actually medieval sci-fi. And you meet some monks that will tell you that they're actually training you for some mission. And then suddenly came a queen that will see that the monks are using some forbidden weapons, so sci-fi weapons. And now you already start to have decision. You manage to hide some weapon. You meet the redskins that are slave in that moment, and whatever you decide, it continue, and then they start the war. The redskins start the war with Naboru.
How many races are in this game?
There are actually 4 races. 4
races, okay.
So there are 2 main races, Redskins and Naboru. And there is another third hidden race, which I don't want to spoil. And then there are humans. There are 4 humans. They are actually the crew of the spaceship. That's why it's called Oricru. It's the original crew of that spaceship. And they've been in like habitation. They've been like sleeping for a long time, and then they wake up.
Like you
you are one of them. Yes.
Okay. Can you say how long did I sleep?
350 years.
350 years. Well, it's quite a long time.
And there is a long story, but you can find the story in the game. It's all there. It depends if you don't want to. If you are not so much into that stuff, you can just play through the game, fight, and just don't know much about that. But if you are interested, you can read the dialogue, see there is a tapestry explaining the story. So we'll find out why is it like that, and there are a lot of twists hidden in the game.
From the start that I just had from this view, you told me in the beginning we just have like 1,000 words you used in that game. I don't feel like it feels already like
no,
it's more. It's
we have like 160,000.
That's what I meant. It's 160,000. There's a lot of dialogue.
Like 2 books.
It's 2 books. It's a lot to understand, to read, but it goes so easily when you read the dialogues. And do they speak also to you in the language?
Yes. They speak in English. Everything is in English. We have all voiceover of everything. And we have translation of the subtitles.
Wonderful.
So we have German, we have Polish, we have like 12 languages.
So there's no borders in this game for people who can't hear. Everybody can expect to have fun with this game.
There are a lot of jokes. Like we like fun in the game. So the main character at the beginning, his reaction on all this weird stuff is a little bit sarcastic. So he makes a lot of like bad jokes and it's like, okay, let me die, and like from that. And also we integrated the game mechanic that you die and everything restart and you reborn into the story. So the other characters know that you cannot die, so they send you to do stuff because they will die.
Why you can't die in this game?
It's a part of the sci-fi.
It's part of the story.
It's
okay.
explained there. Technically it's a game mechanic, but it's explained in the game what's happening, and you have some experimental band. And only those 4 people cannot die.
Okay, I understand. Okay. How big was the crew that you worked on that game?
We are like 40 people now. We worked for a long time. We started like as 5 guys.
Okay.
I hired like another 4 guys, and it was like my dream to build a game like that.
Yeah.
And then we expanded. We went to some exhibitions, and we get very good people. And it help us. We get like Vlad, who is working with us like executive producer, and he moved us very much forward. We find ourselves identity, then we start to play with the Koch. Now it's renamed to Play On. They help us a lot.
Good.
Get a lot of feedback, help us with money, and now we have this game. It's coming out.
It's really cool. And it's coming on almost every platform. The matter is that you can play it with somebody else. You can sit on the couch, you can play it together. What is the goal behind that?
Yeah, for me, I'm like kind of guy that have family and I have kids and I want to spend time with them and I want to play games. So number one, I don't have so much free time because I have all the other obligations. So I try to I like games that are shorter. So this game is like 15-20 hours. But the split screen is like I really like to play with my kids or with my wife, and I find out that the women usually are very like the fiercest warriors. They take the biggest hammer and they start to smash everybody they see. So usually I'm the one that is behind and like trying to navigate.
Nice.
So this is what I like, and I like the fun. I really like. I played already, I don't know, like 200 times.
Wow.
And I still like this scope will like bring you in. Like it's like you do that and I help you, and it always works. It's a lot of fun.
Is it for you? You don't know when the warriors, that the opponents spawn. You don't realize that. You don't know that. It's just happening, or they are
scripted there.
They're scripted.
Like everything is hand placed because I don't like so much generic things.
Okay.
Because then sometimes losing the logic, because I never saw any game that generically that would like really work like 100%. So we have if you play in 2 players, there are more monsters. There are different situations. There are more monsters, different places, and you experience a little bit different gameplay.
So when I play now for myself, I finish the game and I want to decide to play with my wife or with my son. Does it open up a new storyline, or can I continue my storyline but together?
Yeah. So if you already finished the game, new game start from beginning. There is like no end game pass, so you cannot continue with your character. We already have very complicated game, and to build it like NG plus, it would be already super complicated. So you start new game because there are all the decisions, and you can replay and experience completely different story.
But together or alone or both?
Both. You actually can start the game, you play alone, and then in the middle your wife like it, and she can just hop in.
It's cool.
You let her to level up to your level. It's automatically the second player can always be the same level as you. You share the inventory, and she can play, and she don't like it, she drop, and you can continue alone.
That's cool.
Or you can continue with the friends online.
How many options I have in the modes? Because you said it's a Souls-like game. It's spiritual success. It's like coming from the Souls world in terms of hard working the opponents. How many strengths or how many how you call it difficulties I have?
So it's more like we call it Souls light. It's not so heavy as Dark Souls because of the story. You want to progress. You don't want to spend 200 hours. But still, we want to make it accessible even for people that don't like Dark Souls kind of heavy, little bit heavier style of play. So there is a story mode, which is much more easy.
Okay, that's nice. That's very nice.
But even in the split screen, even if you are not good player, you saw like I saw people like that don't like to play those games, and then it works.
Yeah, it comes because there's a talk. There's a talk between what I see. I feel immediately. I like the rats. I'm so sorry I have to say it. I don't spoil it. I don't spoil it for nobody. The rats are amazing. I really like the rats because they're so clunky. You already have that feeling that there's characters coming to you that want something. Even the queen, it's like very. It's interesting because she has this. Yeah, you feel already that's like an empress. Yeah,
thank you.
It's not just a casual NPC. You have a feeling because of the camera. Everything had been done with the sequences in between. How you said it's 20 hours to play. It depends on how you play it. How long did you work on that game?
We work on for more than 5 years.
5 years.
But this game itself, like rebuilding the systems,
I see
because
that,
for
yeah,
it we need to develop some special system. So this actual game, like from like how it will work, is like almost 4 years.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. No, I think you made a really awesome game. It's so good to have it here in this area, because it was years ago when I was here and I had the same talk with Daniel Vavra, Kingdom Come Deliverance, you might know.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm so happy that I see something now because of the decisions. I like the decisions. I like good stories. And if there's a good storytelling, doesn't matter. What engine did you use?
You think Unreal Engine?
Yeah.
So
which one?
4.
4 also.
Because we started like...
Everybody uses 4 here. It's like Unreal Engine 4 is the one to go.
You cannot go with 5 and have a finished game. It's not ready.
That's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not ready. But what I want to tell you also more is like, in the game you choose one race and he wins the war, but you can, if you play good, and you can decide that you make a peace between those 2 races.
That's what I didn't want to spoil that, but when you say it, I'm totally fine.
Because you say you like the queen and the reds, so I just want to tell you like you can make a peace between them, and you can feel good.
Yeah, you can actually, but this is like the 20 hours I have to do it over and over again, like for all 4 races actually.
No, for the humans you don't play.
Okay.
You play only those 3 in the game, and you are the 4th one. But no, you can make a piece in 1 line. In 2 lines, like there are much more lines. It's like very like butterfly, like if you do change. But there are generally 2 main races. For each race, there is an option to make a piece with the other race.
What I wanted to ask is actually, when I start the game and I finish the game, and the next time I start the game, will I have the same game again when I do different decisions?
No, it will be completely different. Based on your decision, it will like change the war. You will see like if the Naboru wins the one race, it's a completely different war. Things change. There is like a lot of execution of the Redkins, of course.
Wow.
If the Redkins in war, they get drunk, they plunder the city, a lot of fire because they like fire.
Wow.
There is a volcano.
They like fire.
They like fire because they live in volcano.
Okay.
And the volcano is actually open space area. There is a lot of like lava.
Yeah.
And you will understand more what they're doing, why they're doing that, and
wonderful.
It's a lot of fun.
There's a lot of fun in it. I see
hope so.
that. I feel that. Because you feel like somebody who likes to have fun. Even what you said in the beginning, the tricky part, or the trick for the user actually is you will never get the same game. Even when you think you're a good person, you will fail. Yeah. When you think you're a bad person, you will fail too. Yeah. There's actually no win or lose in this game. What makes it perfect. Yeah. And there's a lot to explore, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot of like it's built in such a way that you can go very quickly through, or if you invest your time and explore the levels, there are a lot of hidden stuff which will help you. And this game, I don't like the games that are like overbalanced, that you are always like on the edge and you need to fight every step even on the end of the game. Yeah. So this game, if you invest the time and you find a good items, you can be very overpowered.
The crafting, as a last point, the crafting there, you have a lot of crafting there, right?
You have a lot of upgrades, and you can get access to the very good cool items if you find some fragments and then barter them. So there are bartering system. It's a predefined barters, but they open only in specific paths, and if you do only the specific decisions, and you always need to find that character. But those weapons with the barter are like legendary weapons, are very strong.
Cool.
Very strong.
For which people you would recommend this game? What people? What kind of people? Because you told me which kind of games you liked when you were younger. You played. Would you recommend to a certain kind of people this game because?
Because if people like RPGs and they like stories and they like to play with somebody else, I think that's a game for them.
And they like this kind of medieval and science fiction mix. This is was the hardest part for me because I'm a very realistic person. But in this case, I can tell you, I'm as I said, the Redkins actually made my day now, and I enjoyed it very much. Thank you so much for having us, and I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy to hear that.
Liebe Freunde, wir sehen uns wieder. Das war ein schönes Interview über ein geiles Spiel. Ja. Schaut es euch bitte an, ist auf jeden Fall verdient hier. Nicht? Und ihr wisst ja, nicht alles, was von Ex-Koch Media, jetzt Plaion kommt, nicht. Ihr könnt es wirklich anschauen, ihr könnt es wirklich spielen, das macht absolut Sinn. Und das Spiel wird am 13. Oktober draußen sein. Ich freue mich darauf, von euch die Feedback zu sehen. Bis dann. Ciao.